And we were all like, ooh, what is this script going to look like?
Hello and welcome to the Cancelled Movie Report, the documentary podcast series where we talk about all the best movies that Hollywood never made. My name is Michael Campbell, but you can call me Cambo. You may recognize me as the host of the official Village Cinemas movie review podcast, The Cinema Crew. But joining me for this podcast series, because I'm not alone, is an actor and a comedian. You may know him as one half of the award-winning Game Boys comedy duo, Mr. Eden Porter.
Thank you very much for having me, Cambo.
Oh, thank you for being here. Do you want to explain in a nutshell what the Cancelled Movie Report is? What are people in for?
Well, we've all heard about films that never got across the line, that never got made. And so we thought, why not delve deeper inside them and not only just learn about them, but let's actually bring them to life.
Yes.
These films that never got made, we wanted to actually hear some of the lines being done. We wanted to delve right inside and find out what happened.
And a lot of people talk about, who was going to be in it, what happened, and we will be covering that. But we also just want to know, are these movies any good?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, what is the storyline? What is the meat of each story? And would it be awesome if we actually got to see this? Or is it better left unmade?
Now, the first episode, the pilot episode you're listening to right now, and this is launch day, so you can listen to both parts of this movie right now, is Justice League Mortal. And we've done that for a reason. The reason being is that Justice League Mortal it's one of the most famous cancelled movie projects there is. And it's been covered numerous times on podcasts and YouTube videos and articles. So we deliberately chose that one because we think by the end of this, you'll see that we've taken a pretty novel approach to it. And we're hoping, even if you've heard about this before, even if you've watched a video before, you're going to walk away from this podcast going, wow, I didn't know that. That is the aim of this podcast. So without any further ado, let's get into our original pilot, which we recorded about a year ago now, of Cancelled Movie Report. ...2007 was a really interesting year for cinema, especially superhero movies. Christopher Nolan had already done Batman Begins and was working hard on his follow-up, The Dark Knight. People weren't yet used to the idea of a cinematic universe full of superheroes because Iron Man wasn't released until the year after. And in 2007, Warner Brothers had just greenlit George Miller to direct a version of Justice League. Now, Eden, before we get into it, what do you know about George Miller's Justice League?
Okay, well, I do remember hearing about Georgie McGeorge doing Justice League. I remember at the time it was disconnected from Chris Nolan's one. It was its own beast. And I remember some of the casting. There was, I think it was Megan Gale as Wonder Woman.
I've got an entire cast list.
Oh, you do,
here.
actually?
So
let's see who else. I think there was Armie Hammer as Batman.
Correct.
And was there a rapper as the Green Lantern?
Let me explain.
Go. Hit me.
I'm going to start from the top.
Good.
So we had Superman, played by DJ Catrona, big movie star DJ Catrona.
Okay, never heard of him.
No, I have a note here.
Or she.
It says it's a he.
Oh, good.
I have a note here. It says just some handsome guy. I looked him up, and he's just some handsome guy.
Great.
He is currently, I believe, on the From Dusk Till Dawn TV series. As Batman, we had Armie Hammer, which you said, who's since gone on to be a big movie star.
Well, that's right.
But I've done my maths here. In 2007, when he was set to play Batman, he was 19 years old.
Really?
So that is
going young.
that is a really young Batman.
He's just only lost his parents at that stage.
Megan Gale, the Australian supermodel, was set to play Wonder Woman. And in fact, if you follow the link in the episode description, we have a blog set up because there was pictures taken of Megan Gale as Wonder Woman. You can go on there and see them. But what I've got here, Eden, I'm going to continue the cast
here we go.
list. I've got some leaked costume tests, and I want your reactions. So DJ Catrona as Superman.
Okay.
Now, what do you think of this costume?
The definition of bland comes to mind. That is, there's not a lot going on there.
No.
It's really basic, isn't it?
Yes, his costume looks like, and again, click the link and have a look at it yourself. It looks like a costume website, like Costume Box or something.
It is the costumes that you go to when you've forgotten to organise your fancy dress, and you have to go down to the costume store, and they've hired those bad models, quote unquote, to model all their outfits.
Yeah. This model just happens to be DJ Catrona.
Great. He's probably still doing that. Yeah. George Miller went to hire a costume and said, "Give me that man."
Now, Megan Gale as Wonder Woman. Here's a picture.
Now, that's pretty good.
It's not bad, right?
Is that an actual costume test?
That is a costume test photo. Wind blowing, very majestic. She certainly looks the part.
Yeah.
Whether her acting was going to be up to the task, who knows? Now, here's what I'm interested in. This is an early design concept for Armie Hammer as Batman. Take a look at this one. What I find particularly weird about this...
What's happening to his crotchal region?
Well, it looks like he is partly dressed in chainmail.
Yeah,
and if you look, there's a little close-up of his cowl, and it also has chainmail. They've really gone with the Dark Knight, and they've really taken the word knight.
Well, that actually looks like he's got his collar popped.
It does, doesn't it?
It actually does look like that.
Yeah.
Some sort of trendy Batman-y. Well, he's only 19.
I'll be honest, Eden, I don't love it.
I do not love it. I do not love it.
So as you can see that there is a lot of chainmail and it's a little bit, knight-inspired. But
Yes.
in fact, I found this clip that raises more questions than it answers about the Batsuit. And this is an interview with Armie Hammer describing the Batsuit.
Did you see the Batsuit?
I saw the Batsuit and I saw the Superman suit.
With all the carbon fiber and all the
Yeah.
mechanics and springs and pistons on it. And all
That's
that?
what seemed like it was really Miller wasn't afraid to shake up what people know about those characters.
Hang on. So he's are you trying to
Springs
say
and pistons.
Are you trying to say he's some sort of like some sort of punk-ish, like gas-powered knight
Yes.
in the Middle Ages?
Yes.
Like
And-
steampunk Batman.
It kind of sounds like
it's
steampunk Batman. Now, as you hinted at, there was a rapper as Green Lantern. That was Common.
That was common, of course.
There's a bit of concept art. He looks like Green Lantern.
Yeah.
No particular big deal. Going through, we have Santiago Cabrera as Aquaman. This is a little bit of concept art of him.
Oh, wow. Wow. So where's he from? What's he doing now?
He's just some handsome guy.
He's just some handsome guy.
He's in the TV series The Musketeers.
Wow, George, he knows how to pick him.
But he is quite a posh, regal Englishman actor.
Well, that's probably what they could be going for with Aquaman.
Yeah, it seemed like they were going for almost like a King Arthur-esque regal leader.
Well, if you, I think that's the sort of the equivalent of that Thor sort of that sort of high and mighty sort of language that they were trying to use when Thor first came out. That Shakespearean almost.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's kind of what they were going for. Now, this is a mold of Martian Manhunter that was going to be used.
Oh, that is horrific.
It's pretty bad. Now, Martian Manhunter was going to be played by Hugh Keys-Byrne. And if that
Should I know that name?
Well, if it doesn't sound familiar to you, if you know George Miller, you've seen Hugh Keys-Byrne because he plays Immortan Joe.
I was gonna say that
in Mad Max Fury Road, and he plays
it
Toe Cutter Joe in the original Mad Max. He is, if I had to describe him, he is everyone's Aussie dad.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
So, I don't know.
Martian Manhunter, go for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen enough of his output. Everything I've seen him in, he plays a cackling lunatic. Yeah. So I don't know. But rounding out the cast, we actually had Adam Brody as the Flash from the OC.
No, not Adrian Brody.
Not Adrian Brody.
No.
Adam Brody.
Yes. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
I think
he's all right.
He's got that kind of young spunk, smart ass thing.
I love the Flash. I think the Flash is great. He's that smart ass sort of kiddie sort of. He's sort of like their Spider-Man.
Yes. He's like young and wide-eyed and whatnot. We also had Zoe Kazan as Iris West. She was, of course, in the movie Ruby Sparks. She was the titular Ruby Sparks. We had Jay Baruchel as Maxwell Lord. So Jay Baruchel is most commonly known as the voice of Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, yes, I know him.
Skinny little Canadian actor, often with Seth Rogen in a
getting
movie.
stoned.
He was the main villain of this movie, Maxwell Lord.
Really?
Yes. And Maxwell Lord isn't a super well-known character, so I'm going to supply a little bit of context.
Okay, yeah.
He is a businessman /
Stop you there.
/ telepath. That is his.
Because if you're going for a businessman baddie, you go to Lex.
Yeah, you go Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, you go Jesse Eisenberg, you go Lex Luthor. That's what you hit. But so what? He's got telepathic abilities on top of that.
Yes. And it's interesting that they actually used him because he first appeared in Justice League #1. So I understand why.
Yeah, so they're going back to the well.
Oh, and actually, maybe we should explain who Martian Manhunter is because he's never actually really been in a movie.
I don't think he's been. He's pretty big in the animated cartoon world.
Yeah, but I think maybe the general public at large would be less aware of him. So he is a Martian.
Yes.
There's a hint in his name.
And he's a good old manhunter.
He's like a green alien, but his two main skills...
Well, he's humanoid.
Humanoid,
so he's humanoid looking. He's got bright green skin.
Yes, but his two main skills are kind of telekinesis.
Yep.
And he's a shapeshifter.
Yeah. Would that make Megan Gale the oldest person on the cast?
No, Hughes Keith-Burns, for sure.
Oh, actually, yeah, the old man.
He's always looked 50. No, even in the first Mad Max. And the last person on the cast list was actually Teresa Palmer, was cast as Talia al Ghul.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of elements in there.
Now, Aiden, I hear you asking me, what was the tone going to be of this movie?
Yes, hit me with the tone.
They were going away from the Nolan movies. And in fact, there's actually a clip of Adam Brody. He's talking to a radio station, and he was talking about the movie. This is just after it was cancelled, about what it was going to be.
I think that it would have been, tonally it was closer to Transformers than Batman. The script read like anyway, and I thought that would have been a nice, slightly more kid-friendly version.
Okay, there you go.
So that, I think, gives you a kind of barometer. They were going for a Transformers.
Former-esque. And we know how great Transformers have been.
Yeah, but I think...
So more bright colours, action, like, hey, come and help me. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And we're about to get into the plot, and you're going to hear that it very much is a little more kid-friendly and cheesy, especially towards the Nolan.
So in terms of George Miller... We're looking more happy feet than Mad Max.
Though Mad Max is a gloriously colourful movie.
It is.
But in tone of story, yeah. It's more happy feet or Babe 2, Pig in the City than it is any of the Mad Max. Okay, Eden, so we have an idea of who was going to be in the movie and what the tone was, but I say, I've got my report in hand, let's get into Justice League Mortal. The movie, Eden, begins at a funeral. And it's a state funeral in Metropolis for a fallen hero. And we actually start on a black S. Superman is hovering above the city over a huge church with thousands of people in attendance. And all of the Justice League are actually in attendance. In costume. They're in costume, but not regular costumes, black versions of their regular costumes. All the Justice League members are there except Batman. Wonder Woman is giving a eulogy up at the podium, and she says, "How do we go on now that the greatest of our heroes have fallen?" Text comes on the screen. It says, 2 days earlier, the world is at peace. So that is how we begin the movie.
Grim. It's kid-friendly. Kid-friendly.
Now, there is concept art that you can look at on the blog of Superman hovering above the church. It actually looks quite beautiful.
It looks like a cool shot.
It's a great shot. You can see them tracking out from the black S. This is before the rumors of the Snyder version having the black Superman suit. They were going to do it. Yeah. Here's my question before we get into 2 days earlier. The whole Justice League is at the funeral in costume. That is some Adam West Batman 66 level of kind of cheesiness.
They're just out and about, just put on the costume.
I love the idea that at Justice League headquarters, they have like variant costumes.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, wow, we never thought we'd have to use the funeral costume. But you know what? I'm glad Alfred made them.
Well, you know what? Batman is always prepared for every situation. So more likely than not, he's gone and he's got a whole cupboard for everyone for any suit that they need.
So that's how we begin, though. Intriguing mystery. We're at a funeral, obviously for a superhero. Everyone's there, but Batman isn't. So we flash back to 2 days earlier.
Can I just say, I hate the whole idea of 2 days earlier. I hate that as a narrative device in any film whatsoever.
Okay, well, let's talk quickly about the screenplay then. I should mention it was written by Kieran and Michelle Maroney.
Okay.
And if they don't ring a bell, they were responsible for the blockbuster that was Geostorm.
Geo, 2016?
Yeah, the Jared Butler natural disaster film Geostorm.
So it begs the question, what have they done for 10 years between writing this and writing Geostorm?
I can tell you they also wrote Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows.
Oh, okay, good.
So-
Well, they're good. They're right. They're right up there.
I would say they're
very prolific.
Look, they're certainly working screenplay writers, but this does fall into tropes. I will warn you of that early. The first of which being 2 days early.
Okay, continue.
So 2 days early, we actually cut to a satellite up in space. And it's a Wayne Enterprise satellite.
Of course it is.
And we see that Batman is actually monitoring via satellite all of the other members of the Justice League on big screens in a huge satellite that he calls Brother Eye. And when we first meet Batman, he's watching all the members on screen.
The Flash. Status. Inactive.
Continue. All subject scan.
Affirmative. Scanning. Superman. Inactive. Green Lantern. Active. Non-operational. Wonder Woman. Active. Non-operational. The Martian Manhunter. Searching.
Terminate.
All quiet, Master Bruce.
Too quiet.
Well, world peace has a way of doing that. Maybe it's time we started thinking of things as promising, dare we say?
Peace is not a promise, Alfred. It's an intermission. A threat.
Point noted. Still, crime is down to a mere nuisance. The city is generally quiet. The sun does shine, sir.
So I've heard.
All your time down here in the dark, monitoring them. Some might say have become somewhat...
Paranoid? What if, Alfred? What if something was to happen? They're not human, none of them, not fully. With their powers? If not me, who's gonna watch them? What if? You see what I'm saying?
I believe you're saying, what if, sir?
The sun's shining, huh?
Yes. And your guests are waiting.
My guests.
Your surprise birthday party, sir.
Oh. That.
Surprise?
Oh, by the way, you're gonna have to remind me who most of these people are.
Creator protocols. Inoperative. Intercept activated. Subject Alpha. Located. Target identified. The Martian Manhunter. Auto attack sequence initiated. Stand by.
Dun, dun, dun.
So there's a couple of things there that are interesting. So one, Batman is paranoid.
Yes.
And he is watching all of the other Justice League members via satellite.
Yeah. But that's not out of the realm of Batman as well, because...
In fact, partly inspired by a pretty famous Justice League story called The Tower of Babel, in which Batman is watching all the League.
Yes.
And he does have a satellite called Brother Eye. But more importantly, at the end there, his system turns back on as he leaves. And it reads in the script that someone has hacked into his system and overridden it now, and it's going to attack Martian Manhunter.
Oh, not Martian Manhunter, a favorite of the Justice League.
Not Hugh Keys Byrne.
The other thing I love about that is Alfred with the surprise birthday party. Like the amount of Bruce Wayne, and it seems like every time there's a Batman film or something, there's always a party. There's always a surprise party. Yeah. They're always forcing him into these things.
And he always hates it.
Yeah, always hates it. But every single time, it's always his birthday.
Look, I don't spoiler alert for coming up, but he doesn't have time for this one either.
Oh, really? Just one time I'd like to see a Batman film where he just enjoys a lovely party with some of his close friends.
Now from there, Eden, we cross to Denver, Colorado. Detective John Johns, aka the Martian Manhunter, is investigating a crime scene when he discovers a jar containing what looks like a seahorse. When he removes the seahorse from the jar, the creature sprays him with an unknown substance that causes him to burst into flames. And in a panic, Johns takes off, accidentally setting fire to everything he comes in contact with.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's Martian Manhunter's weakness is fire.
Yes. I would also extend that to everybody's weakness.
Yeah. Except the Human Torches.
Except the Human Torches. So that is important to note, in fact, because that does play into a little bit later. His weakness, famously in the comic books, is fire, and now he has been attacked by fire.
No, by a dangerous seahorse.
Seahorse that has caused him to burst into flame. And that was instigated, it would seem, by Batman's security system.
Okay, so Batman has a secret fire-spitting seahorse that he keeps in a jar that he leaves out
Yes.
in case Martian Manhunter goes rogue.
I would say what it is more than anything is Batman has on file how to defeat everyone.
He's got everyone's weaknesses.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
And now someone has exploited that and attacked the Martian Manhunter.
Okay.
Now, from there, we're crossing again because we're meeting all the characters for the first time.
Okay.
Even though we met them in the first scene, we're re-meeting them. And we actually cut to a Planet Krypton restaurant where Barry Allen, a.k.a. The Flash, is at lunch with his wife, Iris. And Planet Krypton is a superhero-themed restaurant. And all the waiters are dressed up as superheroes. In the script, it says ill-fitting superhero costumes. And
This is real. This is
in the
they
movie.
were going to shoot this.
Yeah, they were going to shoot this.
Are you kidding?
So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can you just...
I mean, and here's my question. The Superman costume already looks bad enough.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what a shoddy version of that looks like?
And going, would you like fries as well with your...
Eden, you're in for a treat because we have
please.
another scene recreation
good.
for you. So the Flash is sitting down with his wife to eat lunch and they're being served by the Flash.
Hi, I'm the Flash and I'll be your server today.
Hey there, Flash. I will have, let's see, 2 crypto burger platters, both Superman size, and a large Wonder Slaw. Plus, let's go with an Aquaman. Just a sandwich, but with extra tartar sauce. Oh, and a coffee. I got a fast metabolism.
I'll have the chicken Caesar.
Oh, and Flash, make it quick, will ya?
Funny, I've never heard that before.
Wally's coming in tonight. Sissy says he's all excited about working in the lab. Barry?
Oh, sorry, honey. It's just Wonder Woman's addressing the UN.
Those of us who come here from different worlds, we know how hard it is to choose peace. War, conflict, they are easy. It is peace that is hard.
What is it with you and her?
Who? Wonder Woman? I mean, just look at her. That is one aptly named superhero, if you know what I mean. What?
Wonder Woman's a bit of a blowhard, don't you think? And how come she gets all the credit for world peace?
Well, I guess I've played my part.
Not you. I was thinking Green Lantern and Aquaman. Now he's hot, and don't even get me started on Superman. I mean, come on.
And from Denver, Colorado, where we're told fires are currently raging out of control all over the city. No one is quite sure yet.
How far is Denver from here?
The fires.
Oh, come on, Barry. One uninterrupted meal.
Come on, 600 miles? I'll be back before the coffee's cold, I promise.
You can't save the whole world, you know?
Not the whole world. Just the little part with you in it.
Go.
Back in a sec.
And off he goes
to
save the Martian Manhunter. There's a lot to unpack in that scene, isn't there?
Oh, wow. There's so many layers to this, man. What? Okay.
Now, I should have mentioned this at the start, to be honest. But what we've decided to do as an artistic flair is whatever nationality the actor that was going to play a character is, we've just kept that nationality.
Yeah, okay.
Hence, Wonder Woman is Australian, just
yeah.
like she is Israeli in the Snyder films.
Yes.
You'll hear Martian Manhunter in the future. He's pretty Australian as well. But it does start this weird, ongoing joke or trend. I don't even know if it's a joke in this movie that everybody, including the Flash, is obsessed with Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, because you've got Megan Gale as Wonder Woman, and every male character in this film is like, whoa, aptly named.
Yes, every character in this movie is obsessed with Wonder Woman to the point that it gets
creepy.
It wouldn't fly now.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
Okay, interesting.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, that whole, interesting.
Okay, so the Flash has now run off to help Martian Manhunter, who is causing fires all over
in Denver. I really thought when he was going to say, you can't save the whole world, and he goes, no, just Denver. That's legitimately what I thought he was going to say.
I mean, sure, he could be the hero of Denver. So when he arrives in Denver, he's actually greeted by Wonder Woman. And she is there also trying to help. And together they're able to subdue the Manhunter by tying him up with Wonder Woman's lasso and then blasting him with a constant stream of water. So that's how we first meet Wonder Woman in the story proper. She's already on the scene. However, doing my research, I've found some conflicting information about this scene because there is an interview with Jay Baruchel, who plays the villain of the movie. And he is on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, and he talks about in the script that he had, the first scene that introduced Wonder Woman. It sounds a little different.
The first time you see Wonder Woman, the opening scene on Themyscira, it was just her. It's her on top of a steed. There's a Minotaur, and she stood about half a kilometer away from a Minotaur. Minotaur's got a battle axe in his hand, and she just rushes him. All the Amazons are there cheering her on, and she just beheads him, gets off her steed, and holds up the Minotaur thing, and she doesn't say a goddamn thing. And I was like, that's the Wonder Woman I want to see.
So that is a bit different to meeting her on the street. That occurs in this movie.
That's very like Brad Pitt from Troy.
Yeah.
That's what comes to mind with that. Just bang, one shot.
So the one that Jay describes sounds somewhat more epic, like Themyscira, and there is even some concept online of the Themyscira they were going to do. But in this version, the version that is widely regarded as the shooting script, he meets her on the road. So we cut back to Wayne Manor, and Bruce is greeted by his friend and owner of Planet Krypton Restaurants, Maxwell Lord. Now, he is kind of rubbing shoulders with Bruce Wayne, trying to be all buddy-buddy, being like, these people, they need people like us, Bruce. We're the ones that, we keep the wheels spinning. And
businessman to businessman.
Bruce isn't really having any of it. But then suddenly, Talia al Ghul enters the party, and Bruce is a bit distracted.
Of course he is.
And Maxwell Lord's kind of getting in his ear like a real villain. And he's saying, that's Talia al Ghul. Have you heard that she loved the Batman and she helped him defeat her father, Ra's al Ghul, and then he abandoned her? And he's kind of getting in Bruce's head a little bit, and Bruce has a flashback. But suddenly, Bruce is snapped out of it when Alfred interrupts and tells him this.
The system alarms. It's the Martian John Johns. He's been attacked. How? Fire. The party's over. Send everybody home.
There it is. There it is. Every time.
The classic Bruce Wayne cancelling a party scene.
Oh, mate. Are people going to start getting invites to Bruce Wayne's parties and just be like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother this time. This is the 4th birthday party that's been cancelled.
Yeah. I would love a version of this script where he's like, you know what? I'll deal with this later, Alfred. I'm at a party.
But my guests, Alfred, what will they say?
But I think it is important to note that he now realizes that his Martian Manhunt's been attacked by fire, and Bruce Wayne knows that that's his weakness. Maybe something is up.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
Okay, moving swiftly along. We're still jumping around the world at the moment. We're back in New York, and Wonder Woman and the Flash have the Martian Manhunter submerged in what they described as an ornate bathing pool.
Okay. Bathtub.
I don't know what I think. Because they're in Wonder Woman's conservatory, it's just a more Greek way of saying
bathtub. Yeah, good. Really good.
And that's to keep him from bursting into flames. He is constantly being submerged. At this point, Superman arrives and he meets the Flash for the first time. So the Flash in this script is quite green. He's never met a lot of these people, and he's still kind of awestruck by everybody and everything that's going on.
He's like fanning out.
Actually, not too different to the Justice League that
that's what I was just thinking, when he's like, oh, wow, you're Batman. Yeah.
And it's interesting to note, there are elements in this movie that have bled over into other DC movies, whether it be the Justice League or whether it be Batman vs. Superman or even Man of Steel with one particular thing later on. So the Manhunter tells Superman about the seahorse and says, whoever set this up knew his weakness was fire.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
But it was a seahorse.
It was a seahorse.
So who do you get to talk about seahorses? Bloody Aquaman.
Wow. In a moment.
Oh, good.
Not before we cut location again.
Here we go.
The Flash returns home to do some research. And once home, his wife informs him that his nephew Wally, who was mentioned earlier, has come to visit. And Wally West, who, like Barry, also possesses super speed.
Yeah.
He is Kid Flash.
Yeah.
Going to be played by Anton Yelchin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
A young Anton Yelchin.
A young Anton Yelchin. I mean, he was always young, I suppose.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
And Barry actually asks Wally for a bit of help with research, and he asks him to look into what's going on here.
This is odd. Flash doesn't do research.
The Flash isn't. He's a police officer traditionally.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
No,
he's a crime analyst.
Is it really?
Yeah,
He doesn't feel like that kind of character.
No, Ezra Miller doesn't feel like that kind of character.
True.
Now, here comes the moment you've been waiting for. Superman actually goes down and visits Aquaman.
Here we go.
If anyone's going to know about the
seahorse,
it'll be him. But let me tell you, it doesn't go how Superman thinks it's going to go.
You dare come here and accuse me?
No, Aquaman. I came here to...
Don't call me that. Aquaman, the air breather's name. It's demeaning, juvenile. I mean, Superman, Wonder Woman. Who comes up with these?
King Arthur, then. I know how you feel about our planet's land dwellers.
Our planet? Our planet? Last I checked, I control 3/4 of the Earth's surface. This is my planet, and they treat it like a toilet.
They aren't perfect, Arthur, yes.
Time and time again, I've risen to their defense. And this...
Aquaman holds up a prosthetic hand made of water.
This is what I've got in return. A permanent reminder of their cruelty. I've given my pound of flesh, Superman. They're your problem, not mine.
Respectfully, Your Highness, this isn't about them.
The Martian, bring him to me. I'll see what I see.
I'm asking you to come up, Arthur. We're asking.
The princess. For her.
So there is character number 2 that is in love with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, okay.
It kind of hints at this history between Wonder Woman and Aquaman. And the only reason he's going to come up to help is for her.
Okay, well, interesting. I just don't... You can see some of the you can see some of the elements.
Yes.
Like it was like thinking back to the Aquaman film that has just been made.
Yeah.
But like that whole they're destroying the planet and that sort of stuff. There's a lot of that there as well. But so gruff, so angry.
So yes, he's a very disgruntled Aquaman.
Yeah.
Until he isn't.
Oh, okay.
So in this opening scene, Aquaman is very aggressive,
combative, and
But then in the rest of the script, he just is kind of there. So this
It's
is
just in
almost
the
like just
background.
his scene to show off a bit. And we mentioned before that they looked like they were going for like a regal king-like thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's even necessarily a coincidence that Superman calls him King Arthur. It kind of invokes that regal thing.
Yes.
Here is my question. At one point in this, Aquaman holds up his hand and it describes it as a prosthetic hand made of water.
Isn't he?
I don't know a lot about 2007 era CGI. But I want to say that they wouldn't have pulled that off.
I'm going to say, because they're underneath, you're in water.
Yeah.
And your hand's made out of water.
Yeah.
So isn't that nothing?
It never explains
nothing?
anything.
That is the strangest concept.
Yes.
I've got this prosthetic hand made of air.
So the thing is, he has this hand through the whole film. Through the whole film, he has a prosthetic hand made of water.
Okay, I mean...
I don't know if I am, I'll be honest. So, Eden, we cut again. Okay. It is revealed that the people behind the attack and the ones who took control of Brother Eye, you're never going to guess this.
Hit me.
Maxwell Lord and Talia al Ghul.
You mean the owners of the Krypton restaurant?
Yes.
The small business owners?
The ones acting openly villainous the whole time.
All they need is both to have those moustaches that they can twirl at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is revealed that not only they're working together, and they have now gained access to Bruce Wayne's Brother Eye technology. Now, in Gotham, Batman saves 2 police officers from being tortured by a biker gang. But one of the gang members flees into a movie theater. Batman follows the biker inside, but before he can apprehend him, the biker transforms into a huge armored super soldier known as an OMAC. The OMAC easily defeats Batman, but before the OMAC can kill him, Maxwell Lord, who is watching via the Brother Eye satellite, orders the OMAC to stand down.
But why?
So, what has happened here is the biker has actually transformed from a human being into a robot.
So there's that idea of Transformers
There's
coming back.
Maybe Adam Brody just got to page 20 or whatever.
You just saw that script.
I get it, into robots.
Yeah, whatever. Transformers. Yeah, good.
But this is This is something that they'd not really ever encountered before, and it's been in the comics for a while, OMAC. So Batman is actually beaten pretty badly by the OMAC, to the point where he has to put a nanotech spine collar on because he's so injured.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't have to have anything replaced with water?
No, nothing was replaced with water.
Okay, good.
Yet. Or ever in the film. But he rushes back to the Batcave, and he's battered, and he's beaten, and he's tired, and he needs to access Brother Rai to find out what's going on. And when he goes to access Brother Rai, he hears this.
Access denied.
Oh, so something's going on. Now he is freaking out, and he's actually even kind of yelling at
Alfred, did you change the passwords?
He kind of is at this point. He's saying, like, what's going on, Alfred? What's going on? And you know.
Because if you want to talk tech, you want to talk an 80-year-old butler.
They're going to know.
Yeah, good.
But the advice that is given is, well, why don't you reboot it? And he tries to reboot the system.
No, they do not say turn it on and off again.
Well, they don't say it in so many words, but he attempts to reboot Brother Rai, and he hears this.
Shut down and reboot denied. There is no fault in the system, creator. No fault in the system. You do not have control anymore.
And those words appear on a huge screen in front of him.
Ooh.
You do not have control anymore.
Good.
Now, understandably, Batman is freaked at this point because he knows that all of his secrets are out.
Right, yeah.
And everything that is happening, that's his fault now.
Idiot.
We now meet a new character. You bet you thought we'd met them all, but you forgot about Green Lantern.
Oh, as does everyone.
As does
Ryan Reynolds try and do every day.
As does this script for the majority of this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Green Lantern is not in a whole lot. But we cut to New York, and architect John Stewart, a.k.a. Green Lantern, who was played by Common, is working in his office. And he bites down on a pencil while studying a green energy construct for his new project. Something comes off the pencil and goes into his mouth. A moment later, Stewart is blind. He loses control of his Green Lantern ring, and his energy construct begins destroying the whole office.
What?
So, a few things with this scene, Eden. Obviously, John Stewart, he can build anything that he kind of pictures in his mind, but he needs to be able to see it, right? So him being blind means he can't make constructs with his ring.
Is that how it works? Is that how Green Lantern
Every Green Lantern
works?
is slightly different.
Yeah, okay.
And it's all something to do with willpower. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's their thing.
John Stewart specifically is more reliant on sight than the others. And so his construct is going crazy right now, destroying the building. Here's my question. You know, the weakness of Martian Manhunter was fire. But Green Lantern, who is a Space Marine Corps
super soldier,
is defeated by a pencil.
Yeah, is that what they're implying? That he ate his pencil and it's like blinded him?
I think something was put on the pencil. It says something comes off the pencil and goes into his
lead
mouth.
poisoning?
But what a way to go out as a superhero. Defeated by a pencil.
Yeah,
I mean, it's mightier than the sword.
It is mightier than the sword.
We know that.
I'll give him that much. But that is yeah. Okay, well, Batman definitely had some good files on everyone.
Well, let me tell you, this is just the beginning of the havoc. Back in Wonder Woman's conservatory, Aquaman is actually stung by a robot mosquito, which gives him aquaphobia.
What?
Now he tears off.
No, this is not happening.
He tears off his water hand and throws it aside. However, the Manhunter is able to use the water hand as a suit of water armor, which prevents him from being burst into flames. So, one by one, they are all getting attacked in the goofiest way I can imagine.
The word goofy does come to mind.
We've got a seahorse.
Did you say a robotic bee?
A robotic mosquito.
Oh, mosquito.
Much cooler.
That's yeah, that is much
We've
cooler.
had a seahorse, a pencil, and now a robotic mosquito.
Oh man.
And
this didn't get made.
This didn't get made. Now at this point in the script, it gets a little powers convoluted. But it doesn't ever explain why this mosquito gives him aquaphobia.
That's a very specific thing for a mosquito to give someone.
Yeah, and I don't know what the formula is to be like, inject this and they will have aquaphobia.
Yeah.
But Aquaman afraid of water, that's not a good sign.
How ironic.
Now, Superman and the Flash go to Green Lantern's aid, who is currently still destroying the building in New York, and they bring him back to join the others. And the heroes travel together to the Fortress of Solitude, where they are eventually joined by Batman. So this is actually the first time that the League is all together. Now, Batman's now wearing his high-tech braces, and he is still severely injured by the fight with Yomak he had earlier, but he needs to tell the team what is going on.
Yeah, my bad.
You're not safe here.
How did you find us?
Not here, not anywhere. Someone's watching you. Us, right now.
Impossible. No one on Earth knows where.
I found you, didn't I?
How?
The satellite system, semi-autonomous. It's tracking you, hunting you. It knows your identities. It knows your weaknesses, how to hit you, where to hit you. Everything.
Who is it? Someone at LexCorp?
No.
CIA? NSA? Rogue military?
No.
Well, who then?
Me. Everything that's happened. It's all me.
What the hell are you saying?
The system, it's mine. I built it. I deployed it. Brother I.
Why? Why would you do that?
What if?
What if?
What if you turned against us? Against the world? What if someone controlled you? Changed you?
But you know us. You know we...
I know what you're capable of. I know how powerful you are. And I know that no one on Earth, no mortal, could ever control you.
You wanted to control us.
To contain you, if necessary.
We're not your enemies, mate.
Correct. And I didn't attack you.
Someone got in? Stole your eye?
Yes.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Who?
I don't know.
How do we turn it off?
I don't know. I've tried.
Tell us.
I don't know.
Where is this thing?
I don't know. I cloaked it. Hid its location, even from me. It's gone.
Superman lifts Batman up and slams him against the wall.
How could you be so stupid?
I thought you were non-violent.
Wonder Woman punches Batman.
He is, but I'm not.
Oh, did she hit him?
Yeah, and it was a nice shot, too.
It's called OMAC, some rotten vestige of an old military program. Okay, robotic attack vehicles, PSYOP, nanotech.
I knew it! Oh, sorry.
Someone hijacked it, updated it. There's a human component now, some kind of transmorphing. It hit me. 1 minute, it was a man, and then it was a machine, a killing machine. I threw everything I had at it, everything I had, and it owned me.
But it spared you. Why?
That's what I need to find out. Now, as soon as you can, split up.
No, we're stronger together.
You think we're here by accident? We're here because it wants us here.
I think you overestimate you.
Think about it, Clark. It used the attack on John as bait to bring Aquaman to the surface. It hit me as a distraction, then Green Lantern and Aquaman at the same time. It knew that I would come to warn you. It's been one step ahead the whole time.
You're wrong, Bruce. We're safe here. We've already got John back on his feet
and in a fishbowl. Look at him. It's playing with us.
How do you know all this?
Because it's exactly how I would have done it.
Oh, sorry. That's me. I got it.
Do not answer that.
No, it's cool. It's my wife. Hey, honey.
Okay, so we're going to get to what happens to Flash once he answers the phone in just a second.
Okay, good.
But there is a lot to unpack in that scene. That is exposition city.
That is just verbal, just diarrhea of like, okay, this is exactly what's happening. Everyone. I just need everyone to know exactly what's going on.
And I would say roughly half of Batman's dialogue is, I don't know.
Yeah, well, he does say that several times. Tell us, no. Tell us, I'm not sure. Tell us, I don't know. Mate, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
In terms of, well, there really isn't actually, because they just say, hey, what's going on? And he goes, yeah, I don't know.
Repeat 5 times.
It's strange that it's like there is through lines when you look at the Batman vs Superman that got made in terms of that concept of, what happens if they turn against us? Like, what happens if Superman ended up going,
the
whatever.
paranoia being like, no one can control it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's still sort of maintained into the modern day, but it feels very I just can't imagine them all in this one room. And the idea that the film starts off with basically all of these iconic superhero characters getting absolutely dominated through these really bizarre little seahorse thing and this sort of stuff. Like, it feels. Yeah, it doesn't have that epic nature of these iconic superheroes sort of. Yeah,
it's a little weird, right? And the closest I can imagine of this scene having been done is there is a scene in the second Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, in which everyone piles on top of Tony Stark because he's just created Ultron. And it's kind of a similar scene where everyone is in one room being like, this guy.
Yeah.
What's this guy up to?
What did you do?
Well,
what did you do, Tony?
This is where things get a little bit crazy, Eden.
Let me guess. Can I just say they've kidnapped his wife? The Flash's wife?
It's a good guess.
Oh, damn it.
The Flash receives a phone call from who he believes to be his wife. But when he answers the phone, a nanobot comes out and goes into his body where it attaches itself to his spine. The Flash's body starts vibrating uncontrollably. He vibrates so fast that he phases completely through the center of the Earth. So he starts vibrating, so he phases through the Earth all the way to the other side of the Earth. He rockets out the other side, and before plummeting straight back through the Earth again. So he is going back and forth through the center of the Earth right now.
What? Hang on. Can we just... What is the level of technology...
I don't get what your question is.
No. Okay. So what is the level of technology that you can answer a phone and a nanobot jumps out of the phone? The phone.
Yeah.
It's not on the phone. It's coming through the phone airwaves.
Sure.
How phones work. And then it goes
back in 2007,
into
it would have
him.
been an iPhone 1.
Yeah, exactly. And then it goes into him and then attaches to his spine.
And that sets his body
Vibration
vibrating.
off.
Yeah. So he is going back and forth through the middle of the Earth right now until Wonder Woman actually grabs
the molten core of the Earth.
The molten core.
Okay, yeah, good.
Wonder Woman actually grabs him in her lasso, and she's able to temporarily prevent him from phasing through the Earth. How? Who cares?
But
they never explain.
Okay, if he can phase through the Earth,
Sure.
why doesn't he also phase through her lasso?
Well,
all her lasso does is like truth, like
traditionally,
and
in this movie, her lasso is a bit of a Deus Ex Machina, if you will. What do you need it to do? It does that.
Okay, interesting.
So she is able to ensnare him with her lasso. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's a bit of
sexual tension,
a bit of confusion going on with what powers people have and what things do.
Yep.
So that is about to play a part in this. I'm going to, as best I can, explain what's going to happen. But before then, Batman actually leaves the group in order to search for one of the attacks. Like he wants to go and investigate what has happened.
The amount of... sorry to interrupt, but the amount of cuts in this film is insane that it just... Yeah.
To its credit, it was going to be 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm describing this in 30 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
so I feel like scenes will have gone a little longer.
But it is globetrotting.
It is globetrotting.
I'll give it that.
So he discovers that there's a file on him in the Brother Eye database. And when he asks what his weakness is, Brother Eye responds, love. Batman then remembers his last night with Talia al Ghul. He realizes that when she kissed him last, she put a nanoscopic homing device in his mouth, which he has swallowed.
Hang on, what do you mean he realizes this? He recalls the memory and then goes, what was that weird lip gloss she was wearing?
I'll explain it a little deeper, but he's in the Batwing, flying to investigate, and he is remembering. And he remembers the kiss, and he realizes that it's at that point she has begun tracking him. And he actually just says the word, Talia.
That was one hell of a kiss, Talia. Surely he'd have some sort of sweeping technology that would monitor if he was being tracked or something like that.
This also needs to have been pretty recent for him not to have passed that.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
right?
that's true. Yeah.
It's never explained.
Okay, good.
So try and make sense of this. We're back at the Fortress of Solitude. Now, I'm going to read this exactly as it's written here in this description.
Love it.
Manhunter uses his telepathy and guides Green Lantern through the surgical procedure to remove the nanobots from Flash's spine. Okay? Does that make sense? So Green Lantern's blind.
Green Lantern's blind.
Surgery on the Flash, but he's being guided by the Martian
Manhunter's in a bubble of water,
Yes.
using his telekinesis mind powers.
And they remove.
So who knows about medical procedures?
They're
just watching just watching a YouTube video on it.
It implies that the Martian Manhunter, the detective,
knows how to.
Yeah.
Okay, first thing you want to do, you want to get your medical instruments. I could just imagine them watching a video.
However, they are able to successfully stop him from vibrating now. They've taken the nano thing off his spine. Next, they do the same for Aquaman, which cures his aquaphobia. They take whatever the little injection was out of him.
And then he's no longer afraid of water.
He's no longer afraid of water, just like that.
Okay.
Manhunter then gives himself this is what it's called in the script, a laser dermabrasion using his Martian heat vision on an energy mirror constructed by the Green Lantern. Are you confused yet?
Hang on. So he's used his lasers energies to bounce, but what is it? What it hits the fire on him?
I guess.
Man, get that seahorse back.
It's never explained. None of this is ever explained. Okay. It's a series of
this feels
coincidental nothing.
This seems so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
That they've done all this stuff. Oh yeah, we've found all their weaknesses, we've done all their stuff, and then they just go, oh, I'll just do this to you, and you do this to me, and I'll do this to you, and then we'll all get along.
Look, if we're reaching right now.
Yep.
So this cures him of his spontaneous combustion.
Okay, good.
Aquaman then reclaims his water hand, which he then uses to cure Green Lantern and restore his sight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know a water hand could do that.
Never explained. So somehow they all use a random assortment of weird
their own
powers that just happen to cure other things that are wrong with the Justice League. This, by far, is the messiest scene in the whole script.
Nothing
is ever
so
explained.
strange.
Well, we have come to the end of part 1 of George Miller's Justice League Mortal. We hope you enjoyed this part 1 of our original pilot episode, and we would love it if you could subscribe, be it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you like to listen. It really does help us get discovered in the charts. It would also be terrific if you're enjoying the show, if you could give us a 5-star rating, or you know what, most importantly of all, just tell a friend. We are completely independent here at Cancelled Movie Report, so your support means the world to us. Hey, what do you think of the movie so far, and have we missed anything? We would love to hear from you. You can always get in touch with us via cancelledmovies@gmail.com or at Cancelled Movies on all of the socials. And hey, maybe you have a cancelled movie project you've always wanted to hear about. Why not let us know? You can fill out a form in the episode description alerting us to a project, and we may just give it the Cancelled Movie Report treatment. I'm Michael Campbell. I hosted and edited this episode. Eden Porter was my co-host too. We both produced the show. Sam DiLorenzo was the sound engineer. We would also like to thank our amazing voice cast, all of which are listed in the episode notes. Now, make sure you're listening to the next episode, which is out right now, so you can do that straight away. But if you want a little tease, here you go.
So the writer's strike was looming. So what we did is we all sat down at a table before we knew it was going to happen. I mean, almost like we have 2 hours. They're like, so just throw every idea we can into the script because we can't write the script once it starts. Right. And everybody just sat around spitballing with George and Nico and the whole creative team down there. And we ended up with a script that was almost 200 pages long.
Yes, that is on part 2, which you can listen to right now on Cancelled Movie Report. But until then, take care.